I'm Councillor Daphne McDonald, Deputy Mayor of the Gold Coast, and I'd like to thank you for the invitation to attend tonight because there's a lot being said about Muslims, and I found it very interesting. However, I do feel that there's a contradiction, especially when women are robed and they do come out in public in their full robes. And to see so many beautiful women here tonight in beautiful clothes, and especially with the education and how they bring their children up, and also how interested they are in having fun. And I suppose it's something different to what I had expected. But one of the things that I suppose really came home to me is segregation between men and the women, and especially out in public. Because our culture, we're not used to that, but of course with your culture there's a meaning behind it. And tonight I certainly got a little bit more understanding, and I thank you for that.
My name is Gail Hagan, I'm a police officer. I was very grateful to receive the invitation to come along tonight. And I would consider fairly culturally aware. So although I had not had any exposure really to Saudi people, so I had some understanding. So coming along tonight, the information was very basic and easily understood. And I again understood the hijab. I actually brought one along with me tonight just in case, but I figured that because it was women that it wasn't necessary, but I did bring it along to be sure. I understood and found out a lot more about the hijab and the abaya, and that's why I found a lot more. And the wedding, I had no concept of the weddings before tonight, so I found that very, very interesting. So and every person that I've spoken to tonight, I've spoken to met Aliyaya, is her Muslim name, and I had a very long conversation with her, and then I've met, I can't pronounce the other lady's name, so I've had some very good conversations where I could ask questions, and I found that very important, so thank you.
It would be really great next time to have a little bit more notice, and at Bond at least I know we would have loved to give the students an opportunity to come and arrange a little bus, a mini bus load, and bring them over, because a lot of the students are without transport and they live within walking distance of the university, but it's very difficult to come to a place like Moran, so that would be great. And I think it would be really good to let the local surrounding community, because more Saudi people are settling here, not just coming for a short temporary period as a student, to connect. Putting feelers out into the community to bridge the cultural gap is always worthwhile. Yeah, always worthwhile.
That the segregation is something that the women like too. It's not something that it's forced upon the women. The men and the women both want this because it's an Islamic thing. Do you understand that?
Yes, to a certain extent. The parts I find would be harder. I guess with Australian society, we tend to kick in the face. And by looking away, you can't judge
don't look you in the eyes, what do you feel when you feel uncomfortable?
Simply because I guess I'm used to looking at people in the eye, and if they're not prepared to look me in the eye, I wonder
what they're hiding.
Do you understand now? Sorry to interrupt you. Do you understand now that it's a respect thing? It's a very respectful thing. Like I too am not used. I wasn't used to that, and since I learnt about Islam and learnt about Muslim men that way, I realised how nice that was, knowing where they're coming from, and then for them to do that, I thought it's much nicer than waiting until I turn around and then they stare at my backside. They're not looking at all, so it's a very respectful thing. So that's what the Saudi women are trying to do tonight, is to alleviate those sort of myths. You don't have to like it, because everybody has their own.
I just think it's about choice, and that's so obvious, and so much of it is cultural. You know, you grew up in the same culture that I did, and I grew up in a family that taught that you earn respect, and you be modest, and you be polite in everything you do, and it had nothing to do with covering your face or anything. But it's the same concept.
Yes.
It's just that they do it differently to us, but the outcome is the same, and you respect yourself.
And I've lived in Asia, so I'm used to the lack of eye contact. It's a similar thing, but it's a sign of respect.
Yes.